One of President-elect Trump's most controversial nominees was the first to face the scrutiny of a Senate confirmation hearing. A new PBS News NPR Marist poll set to be released tomorrow finds that Pete Hegseth, the nominee to lead the Department of Defense, has room to introduce himself to the country. 55% of Americans don't know enough about him to have an opinion. 19% hold a favorable view of him, and 26% have a negative impression.
The nominee was questioned today about alleged sexual and financial misconduct, as well as a concern that he lacks the experience to manage the Defense Department's more than 3 million employees. Hegseth has denied any wrongdoing. Congressional correspondent Lisa Desjardins reports now on how Hegseth handled the hearing room spotlight.
USA! USA! USA!
Supporters chanted as the Defense Secretary nominee took the hot seat.
When President Trump chose me for this position, the primary charge he gave me was to bring the warrior culture back to the Department of Defense.
For Pete Hegseth, that means blocking diversity programs that conservatives challenge.
The dumbest phrase in military history is "our unity is our strength." No, our shared purpose is our strength.
Washington.
Republicans see it as raising standards.
You are a breath of fresh air.
But Democrats see a nominee who has repeatedly questioned women's roles in the military, including in a podcast about 2 months ago.
I'm straight up just saying we should not have women in combat roles. It hasn't made us more effective.
At the hearing today, with 2 women senators who served in the military, strong pushback.
You will have to change how you see women to do this job well, and I don't know if you are capable of that.
Mr. Hegseth, should we take it to believe that the 2 women on this committee who have served honorably and with distinction made our military less effective and less capable?
Senator, I would like to clarify, when I'm talking about that issue, it's not about the capabilities of men and women, it's about standards.
Hegseth has Ivy League diplomas and has multiple tours in the military. He has led small veterans groups, but nothing larger. Most recently, he's been a co-host on Fox News. If confirmed, Hegseth would head the largest agency in the federal government. Committee Chair Roger Wicker praised him as unconventional.
That may be what makes Mr. Hegseth an excellent choice.
But Democrats decried him as lowering standards for the top defense job.
I hardly think you are prepared to do the job.
Hegseth focused on his leadership skills and vision.
I want smarter and more capable people around me than me, and you will get that at the department.
But Democratic senators raised other concerns, past affairs and reports of Hegseth being falling down drunk at work events.
A small handful of anonymous sources were allowed to drive a smear campaign.
Democrats pointed out it was not all anonymous. They said some eyewitnesses to drinking have given their names, and
you acknowledge that you cheated on your wife and that you cheated on the woman by whom you had just fathered a child.
Adultery is illegal under the Uniform Code of Military Justice. Hegseth repeatedly did not comment when asked to deny or explain many accusations. But he did reject allegations that he sexually assaulted a woman in 2017. Hegseth reached a settlement, including a non-disclosure agreement with the woman.
Senator, I was falsely accused in October of 2017. It was fully investigated, and I was completely cleared.
I don't think completely cleared is accurate.
Of all the senators asking Hegseth questions, one is the most pivotal to his fate.
We have had very frank conversations. Is that correct, Mr. Hegseth?
Senator, that is a correct characterization.
Iowa Senator Joni Ernst, the first female combat veteran elected to the Senate. She's also a rape survivor. And to move forward, Hegseth needs her support, which she has not yet clearly given. Hegseth is unlikely to get Democratic votes. He declined to meet with most of them. The Republican chairman of the committee has helped him, blocking access to his FBI background check for most senators. President-elect Trump has a unique vision for the military, including it as part of his plans for mass deportation and other policies. Hegseth was asked if a president's orders could ever be unconstitutional.
Senator, anybody of any party could give an order that is against the Constitution or against the law.
Hegseth questioned if Trump would ever do that, but he didn't answer about how he would respond if it happens.
This hearing is adjourned.
For the PBS NewsHour, I'm Lisa Desjardins.